Okay, here is the installation of the Firestone Tech R4 kit. It is installed in a 2010 Dodge Ram 2500 crew cab short bed. As you see, it's looks like a pretty easy install. I didn't have any problems. The leaf springs were definitely pretty heavy, hard to get out. But if you have somebody to help you with that, would work out a lot better. The reason why I'm making this video is because the instructions did not have very good pictures. So for this plate up here on top, I had to figure out how that went on. Took a little while, but I got it. And then there's two brackets, upper and lower right here, that you had to clamp on. Bolts down here, bolts on top. It's not very tight. There's a little gap in here, but it seemed like it went on pretty tight. You can see the front, then underneath. And then the new shocks they give you with it. They're not really Tough Country. They're Rancho 9000s, but they didn't give us stickers, so I put my own sticker on there. And it's supposed to have an airline going to the airbags, but they forgot to add a T that I needed for an eighth inch hose to a 1/4 inch hose, so I have to get that from them. But aside from removing the old leaf springs, I mean, this was pretty easy to install, all bolt on, which is what I was looking for. Comfortable ride, extra carrying capacity. It has the extra leaf in the bottom for like a traction bar. I haven't driven it yet, so I don't know how it rides, but I'll certainly put a video together for that. This side was a little bit harder to install. You can see I put the valve up here. There's supposed to be one on each side. I only really want one valve on here. I don't know why you'd need two. Most trucks only have one. So I was going to try to incorporate the other valve into the front, because I have installed front airbags, the Airbag it brand. Cattleman sells front airbags, and they also sell a 2-stage rear and a 4-stage rear. The 2-stage seemed kind of hokey. You just attach it to the existing leaf springs, and you have airbags in the back. It does not give you extra load carrying capacity. It just gives you a better ride. This one increases load carrying capacity, and it was bolt on, so I could take it off if I sold the truck. So I don't have my adjustment linkage on here yet, because I'm waiting to put it on the ground, get it the right height, and then install it. The only thing you had to do in here is you can see back here, got a bolt in here. I had to remove this brake line, which was pretty easy to do. I thought at first it was going to be kind of difficult, but it ended up being pretty easy. And then I'm going to move this around. You can see there's a fitting they give you for the breathers. That's pretty much it on here. Now the front, they tell you just to move the gas tank forward a little bit to install these two brackets. Unless you remove the filler neck, you're not going to be able to move it very much. And then there's a brake line that runs behind the frame. I was concerned about it rubbing, so what I ended up doing is I chopped the top piece of the bracket so it's not bolted on the top, just on the bottom. It seems to be just as tight on the frame, but I didn't want it to rub on the brake line. Plus they said if the fuel tank rubbed on the brackets that you could remove one of them, which both brackets rub, so I hope I don't end up with a hole in my tank. The only thing you had to do is there's a ground wire back here, right back here, that attaches right up here. So you have to grind off that stud, or else the bracket won't fit. And I put my own bolt in there, so other than that, aside from doing that, the brake line, that was the only added work you had to do on this side. Like I said, everything else is the same. You know, pretty basic. You know, you need to have some good heavy duty sockets, breaker bar to get the bolts loose for the leaf springs, but and good jack stands, good jack. Now, this kit also includes the air compressor and air tank. Underneath here, there's not much room, so I put the air tank right here. You can see, and there's my air line coming into it, and also going to the rear bags. And then I have right here, I have a line going to my front airbags, and a regulator and a shutoff valve for the front. And then I put that in there before I decided to go with try to install this other valve. So let me show you where the compressor is. The compressor is right here, mounted, and I ran the air lines towards the front. Now there's not much room underneath here. It's only 2 spots, except for maybe right here. There's some room, but you know, you'd have to move the wiring. You could probably put either the tank there or the compressor there. But with the exhaust heat, I wasn't sure how that was going to work out. Let's see here. Anyway, you can see the airbags, the shock, and how it's mounted. So anyway, I got the front airbags in. I'm going to put the valve that goes here on the front. See how that works. First I'm going to drive it around, make sure I don't need the valve on this side. And if I don't, then I'm going to put it on the front. If I do, I'll have to put it back here and see what I can come up with on the front. But that's it. And hopefully it's everything they promised. It's about a $2,000 kit. Kettleman's for a 4-link is about $3,500, and Airbag it sells a 4-link, and that is also, it's about $2,200, and I think the compressor is additional. So, probably looking at about $2,800 for a 4-link. Plus you got to remove the bed, cut the hangers off, and all that stuff. So I want to be able to put this back in stock. So I went this route. Hopefully it works out. All right.